you taught me that there is a YouTube niche of breastfeeding advice. And I didn't even know that this was a thing. I mean, I guess that you need advice for everything.
I wish I didn't know it was a thing, buddy. I hope you're not in the situation I am, because the problem with the algorithms, and I've been saying this with, I got on disability TikTok, right? Which is, what do you jerk off to? So there's this guy, he just like rolls around. He's got no arms and legs, and there's like a bunch of them, right? And this guy's, you're laughing. The guy's crushing. He's probably a bazillionaire right now. Rolling into a bag of money, right? But the thing is, the algorithm is so wild because you don't ask for it, but if you were walking around the street and there was a guy rolling around on this floor or like taking a shit in the alley, like, of course you would look more than you would just look at a normal person. And then the algorithm's like, oh, that's your shit, huh? So it's like, that's all you get now. So if you want, so now when I see any freak show content, I try to scroll as fast as I can.
Okay.
But I guess they got me with the breastfeeding. Because they kept dude, it's a literal, OnlyFans chick just sitting there, fake baby. Oh, I don't know if I didn't mention that part in the special. They got fake babies too. So basically it's a loophole that you can be nude on Instagram if it's breastfeeding content.
Okay, even if it's not a real child.
Well, I don't know the logistics of the real or fake child, because maybe you could say it's, it's educational.
Practicing. It's a practice child.
Yeah, and, and they say it's for new mothers. That's why on my special, I'm just like, yeah, it's 10,000 new mothers. That's who's watching this. But so they have basically fake babies now, and then they're feeding this to me, man. I'm the demo. That I don't watch it anymore. They keep giving it to me. They're like, you did that one time though. You love it.
Well, it's funny to work out whether or not it was like them activating a secret thing that you actually did want in the back of your mind.
What, tits?
Yeah. Well,
yeah, fucking zany me. If I'm seeing a full out pair of tits on my timeline, I scroll a little slower. Fucking wacko.
I remember reading the TikTok terms of service thing that was in some news article, and they were talking about how the app is allowed to use the front-facing camera to detect micro-expressions.
How would it?
They must have mapped the way that your face moves, and then it's watching you looking, and you see some of the breastfeeding content.
Oh, so if you go like that?
Well, yeah, but that's a reaction, right? So maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. I'm sure they've
What's the micro?
the micro-expression to fake breastfeeding porn. Real breastfeeding porn to a fake baby, I guess, technically.
I mean, yeah, whatever. You hacked the system. You figured out how to be nude on the internet to get people to subscribe to your things and get views. It's probably good, but yeah, the problem is now the algorithm is just the whole thing's based on, did you look at it for longer than you looked at the last thing?
This is now your thing. Hey, guess what? This is your entire identity.
Yeah, and well, that's, it's one thing to be like, you tricked me into having an algorithm full of boobs. It's a whole nother thing to be like, you tricked me into having a whole algorithm full of like guys whose faces are burned off.
Right. Or rolling around, quadriplegics rolling around in bags of money. You know what?
I tried to hack my algorithm where I went and just, so my Facebook and my Boys Cast page. So I only scroll through those, and I loaded my thing up and I watched like only horse hoof tutorials. So now
thinks you're a rancher.
Yeah.
And what are you still getting delivered all of the
That's the majority of what I get now. I have like favorite hoof guys now and stuff like that. Like I literally like watch hoof content of a guy just cleaning it off, and I'll be like, guy's missing a spot. Like Nate the hoof guy would never miss that.
Yeah, exactly. He's nowhere near as good as Dry Creek Dwayne.
And then I got into horseshoes too. So I got horses, cows' hoofs. So that's all I get right now. And actually, life's been better.
Right. Ever since I pivoted from watching breastfeeding content to horse hoof cleaning content, everything's gone right. So I wanted to teach you about this book that I read a couple of years ago. The #1 Google search in India that starts with the sentence, "My husband wants ... is my husband wants me to breastfeed him." So porn featuring adult breastfeeding is higher in India than anywhere else in the world.
Why is that?
In just about every country, nearly all Google searches looking for advice on breastfeeding is how to breastfeed a baby. In India, Google searches looking for breastfeeding advice are equally split between how to breastfeed a baby and how to breastfeed your husband.
So, I mean, it has to be. I know a guy who's into this. Have you met my buddy JJ? You met JJ? Yeah, exactly.
Is he Indian?
No,
He should be.
Yeah. But they have some messed up thing. He's got a overbearing Jewish mother. They freaking messed him up, right?
That he's got a fucking Oedipus complex about.
So Indian dudes, where I grew up in, like right around Toronto, which is like huge Indian population. So a lot of people where I grew up with are Indian. I have relatives that are Indian, and they do have a culture of a bit of an overbearing mother, I think. So India, especially like the boys are very like the golden child to the mom. So, to some degree,
going to be babied later in life as well.
It's got to be related to, obviously that has something to do with mom shit, right? And maybe it's something to do with, like, I think Indian people have that same like overbearing Jewish mother, like an overbearing Indian mother.
I wonder why it's not. I don't know how much sort of Jew
and the dad, you're always
breastfeeding.
going to get hurt real bad.
I don't know how much Jew breastfeeding porn there is. Definitely not between the hours of whatever it is, 6 p.m. on a Friday. So this HuffPost person that was doing this.
Well, then you know why the Jewish people do it?
Why?
Well, because milk's free.
You're awful.
Next to that,
You're awful. So this HuffPost person put a search in, searched "my husband wants me." Top searches that came up: my husband wants me to breastfeed him. My husband wants me to abort our first baby. My husband wants me to sleep with other men. My husband wants me to quit. My husband wants me to quit my job. And then a conservative person did it at HuffPost. My husband wants divorce, breast milk, oral all the time, me to breastfeed him. Like, this breastfeeding.
I mean, oral all the time's not that crazy, I guess.
But that came in as like third.
Yeah.
After divorce and breast milk. It didn't even appear for the liberal person either.
What's your theory as to why?
I don't know. The Indian thing's really. I wondered whether it was maybe something to do with the sacredness.
You're from London. London's super high Indian population. Similar.
Yeah. The whole UK is pretty high sort of subcontinental stuff. But I wondered whether it was something to do with like cow milk, the sacredness of cows.
Saying their mom's fat.
No. I thought it might be.
You think it's the sacredness of cows? No, that's not it.
No, evidently not. No, you've got to have a more sophisticated fucking thought process. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Ask JJ. I'm sure he might be.
I'm telling you, it's messed up mother stuff.
Okay, and what's it? All of India, overbearing mothers just across the entire country.
Well, not every. I mean, a lot of Indians, so I don't know if all of them are on the breastfeeding searches.
Well, it's an equal.
I'll tell you another thing. Okay, this is my other theory. That's like, how that's like being into feet, like one above that in a sense where it's like, maybe I'm not that crazy yet. You know what I mean? In their mind, they're like, this is like, I'm fucking this kinky dude, but it's you haven't fully crossed over into, the craziest stuff. Mm-hmm. So maybe this is like
it's not dead animal necrophilia.
Yeah. Maybe that's one of those things where it's like India's getting into breastfeeding stuff and you're just like, oh yeah, that was America 25 years ago.
Are you saying that it's a gateway drug?
That's my hypothesis.
Breastfeeding porn is a gateway drug into much more hardcore.
Yeah, this might be like a transitional period. You check in on India 7 years from now. You're like, that's not even in the top 20. It's not even cracking the top 20.
It's like when they look at chimpanzees and stuff, and they say it seems like chimpanzees are beginning to first use tools, and it's like, oh my god, I'm watching them evolve in front of my eyes, and it's the same thing, but with like degenerate porn for Indian people.
Yeah, exactly. This might be a transitionary step, but I think it's also a transitionary step because of the mother stuff.
Right. I wonder what we're going to see in a few decades' time, and we're going to be like sedimentary rock. We can just track the Pornhub searches of all of the everybody across the world and see who's out front. That being said, Japanese men have recently become obsessed with tickling porn. More than 10% of Pornhub searches for young Japanese men are for tickling.
That one I really don't have I don't know Japanese guys. I know Indian people pretty well. I don't know the Japanese as well.
They want to be tickled. So that's all you need to know.
I mean, if I was to guess, this is completally out of nowhere.
What, you're saying that this isn't a well-researched opinion that you're about to put in front of us?
I feel like
my
Indian
data?
Stuff's on the money.
Okay.
I feel like I'm tapped into the Indian culture.
Okay.
Japanese stuff, my guess would be that Japanese culture is very childlike. It's like if you look at all the, they have the girls where it's hot and they're basically like dressed like,
schoolgirls.
It's schoolgirls, like
shit.
The anime kids stuff. So if you think of, that stuff being very popular.
Oh, it's like babying.
Tickling is very cartoony.
I think you might be onto something there. That wasn't total dog shit. That was...
Yeah, that has to... if I was to make a connection between two things, it's the childlike, fashion stuff versus... that stuff, you do change your, like you ever watch like a movie about like, like a place that's all not white people, and whether that be like Asian or and then you leave that like, let's say you watched a whole thing about fucking Jamaica or something, you leave that kind of being like, I think I'm into black girls. Like, you know what I mean?
In other news, this episode is brought to you by True Classic. True Classic tees have some of the highest quality t-shirts, hoodies, and jeans on the market without a premium price tag. The shirts fit incredibly well. They've got this awesome cotton elastane blend. They're loose around your midsection, but they're fitted around your arms and your chest. As the weather starts to dip, their long-sleeved Henleys and waffle hoodies are perfect for layering in comfort. They've got over 4 million customers and 200,000 reviews backing them up, so you can rest assured that you are choosing quality. And best of all, they've got a 100-day guarantee. So if it's not right, or if it wears a little too soon, they'll replace it for free. No questions asked. Right now, you can save when you bundle multiple items together by going to the link in the description below or heading to trueclassic.com/modernwisdom. That's trueclassic.com/modernwisdom. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip with Ryan, you will love the full-length conversation in all of its glory. And it's just here. If you press it.